In this video, we're going to look at how to use templates. So let's dive straight into our project.co demo account. Okay, all your templates are housed in this templates page here. So if we click here, you'll see a list of all your current templates. In this demo account, we've got a few templates that have been imported from our template gallery. So if you don't have any templates and you want to try a few out, then please click to go to the template gallery, and there's over 30 different templates for you to test out. But don't worry, if you don't have a template, then it's easy to create one. Click to create a new template. So basically a template is the same as a project, but instead of being able to be used as a project, it can just be used to create projects. So you use a template as a starting point to create new projects. And that means that when you create a project from a template, it will bring all the data from that template to act as a starting point. So it will bring the people and the tools and a lot of the data from most of the tools as well. We'll discuss a little bit more about that now. So let's set this template up. What I want to do for this demo is I want to create a template that we can use as a starting point for when we create a project for a new customer. So what I want to do, let's start at the top. I want to remove the project image because when we create our project, we'll use the group image as the project image. I want to upload a default cover image to act as our starting point, and I want to name our template new project for company name. Okay, so let's create that template as a starting point. Okay, the template's been created. Now we have to think about what data points we want to start with on our new project. So for example, we could start with the status of active, but you could choose any of your other statuses as well. I want to start this project with a status of brief because we're going to actually put a brief in here for the client to fill out when they create this, when we start a new project. We'll leave the dates as they are. In fact, we'll just remove that so that we don't have a start date. And I want to have this as account privacy, but you could set project privacy if you like, or private. You can choose your privacy setting, and that will when the project started, it'll take on that privacy setting as well. Okay, so now we want to add some tools, and like I say, the tools will come with the project when you create a project from the template. So I want to create a discussion, I want to add tasks, I want to add files, I want to add a note, and I also want to add some other tools as well. So let's click into our tools menu. I also want to take payments from the client, and I also want to add a Google Doc brief form for the client to fill out. So if I click Google Doc and I click brief and we enter a predefined brief, I'll show you what that looks like now. There we go. So we've got a good starting point. If I click into brief, you can see we've got a pre-created brief form here, which we've previously created. Okay, now I just want to add a few tasks to this project, to this template, sorry. Okay, so you might just click new task and create a few new tasks. What I'm going to do just to demonstrate this is I'm just going to bulk add a few tasks. So if you haven't used this feature, it's a little demo for you. You can click in the drop down, add multiple tasks, and we'll enter up to 100 tasks here, but we're just going to create 10 or so. There we go, 8 will do it. We don't need any particular dates or anything like that. We'll just create and close. There we go, we've got 10 tasks on our project. What I'll do is I'll just make a few of these subtasks, just so that we can see how that looks. We'll change the date on some of them. So when you create a template, something that's quite useful, in fact, I'll open this task up to show you this in a little bit more detail. When we create a date on a task, in a template, we don't get just the normal dates, which is no date, single date, date range and recurring. What we also get is X days after project start date. And what that does is it'll create the task date for X days after you create the project, which means that you could create tasks to be 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, 10 days after the project start date. Or you could also use X working days after the project start date, which takes into account your set working days in your account settings, and it'll create it from 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, 10 days, whatever you choose, ignoring weekends. So it'll skip the weekend days, which is pretty cool. It means that you can create a full sequence of tasks to be done that will be set out from the project start date when you create the project from this template. So let's create a task that's 3 days from the project start. And let's create another task which is 5 days from the project start. There we go. And we'll put this one in progress. Okay. So if we hop back to our template, we can now add a description. This is a new project for company name. Okay, and that can be that's a clear indication for us to fill that out when we use this project. Okay, so there's no need to save. That's template completed. Now we can jump back to our templates page, and we can see that we have a new project for company name in here. It's got brief as a default status, and the easiest way to use this is on the create new project page. Instead of starting a project blank and just going ahead and filling it out, you can go to start with a template, and you'll see that you have your new template in here. We can click that here, and we can choose, because we have dynamic dates on this project, we can choose a start date. So let's just use today as a start date and click create project. Now we have a new project which has got all the data, all the tools from our starting point, sorry. So I can fill this out and say ABC company. I can go into the brief form, and we can see that the brief's ready to be filled out. I can go into the tasks, and I can see that the tasks have been given specific dates based on the project start date. So we set the start date as today, so this is 3 days from today, and this is 5 days from today. So that's a really cool way to get tasks in a sequence. Something I didn't mention actually earlier on is that you can add people and groups to the project, and to the template, and when you create the project from the template, the people and the groups will come across as well. And just as normal, when that project's created, those people will be sent a project invitation to let them know that they've been invited to that project. So that's a great way to get the right people, right data points, the right branding, the right tools, the right tasks and information into a project as a starting point using templates. If you have any questions about templates, please get in touch with our support team, and we'd be very happy to help.